All right, welcome back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Wednesday, November 22nd, 2023. If not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Anyways, let's get into it today. So we're going to do the just a quick little wrap up here. I'm not going to go through every sector. I know it's a holiday, and half you may not even be tuning in. I know everybody's with their families and doing that type of thing, which hope everybody has a great holiday. In any case, just a quick video here. So markets, little gap higher. We actually, had a little flush in the morning. So the NVDA earnings kind of helping take the mark down. Tesla had a really nice looking hourly pattern going into today, and that failed pretty sharply, and that brought the market down. We actually had some members catch this short this morning in the trading room. You can see here on the SPX, let's use the spiders. We got very close to this gap fill, 456.48, and you can say we basically filled it, right? 10 cents is nothing on the SPY, and you can see that's where we pulled back in off of there. On the daily SPX, you can see we're still respecting that trend line. So we tagged it Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. Ready for the vacation. We tagged it Monday, pulled back yesterday, and now we're hitting it again and pulling back in off of it here and printing basically a doji candle on the daily time frame. So again, we're just kind of stuck in that area. Friday will be a throwaway unless we get geopolitical news. Could they float this up a little bit higher and push it to 45.75? It's absolutely possible. The one thing I'll say though is that the market's getting really complacent here, and I think that's partly why you're able to see these types of quick moves to the downside. Is when everyone's piled in, to the trade. Nobody wants to be the last one out when a correction starts. So everybody piles out at the same time as well. But complacency definitely starting to show up here. VIX, basically at levels that we haven't seen since, really 2020. Just another 30-40 cents. Now, again, that doesn't guarantee anything, but it just shows that, we are starting to get kind of lofty there. What would be this first signs here that we're starting to pull back? Because right now, as long as you keep making these little higher lows, everything's technically fine. But one thing I'm watching here right now, you're starting to see possibly a little bit of exhaustion in the NQ. So if we take a look here and just draw this trend line, you can see that we hit it, pulled back, and now we kind of back tested it there. So maybe a little bit of exhaustion here on the NASDAQ. I think big tech, again, NVIDIA obviously dragging the market down to a degree today. But we did see banks and everything else kind of hold up, healthcare, consumer staples, utilities. You see the ES, this trend line here, which goes back to the low, is intact. If this starts to break, that would be your first sign that bears are coming in here and doing some damage, doing some chart damage. But right now we've just got this higher, hourly higher lows just over and over. We start to take those out. We take out this trend line. Then that's kind of your first sign. Again, I don't expect that to happen on Friday. I think window for a pullback would be early next week. And we'll see what we get from there. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. Russell 2000 was a little bit on the weaker side today, relatively speaking. So just as was the NASDAQ too. But we challenged that opening candle low in the middle of the day. And now we're just kind of hanging in there. This pattern here on the IWM is still pretty good. I actually don't hate this at all. If this just consolidates more, this can go higher. So right now, that is a decent pattern on the Russell. Dow here, another little outside move up, another 0.5%. I know healthcare having a good day. Yeah, UNH up 81 basis points. So that's gonna help pull the Dow up. There's a very heavy weighting in that index. Next level here is really up to 355 if it can get there. But it's really more of a zone, right? It's not really a specific pivot per se, but you have kind of a zone here. You tried to consolidate to break out and then it failed. So likely there will be met with sellers there. Anyways, SMH here, fractionally lower. The SOX is green though. So again, the NVIDIA weighting skewing things a little bit here. IGV pulling in off of our 380, what is it, the 381.59. Look at that. So we gapped up and then pulled back in off that level. So that is resistance there until proven otherwise. Transports here, nice little pop there, up 1/3%. I still think this needs to do more consolidating to get through this level. but transports are holding up a lot better. And again, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt right now. All right, yields 2 years still got that red inside bar. 5 still inching lower. The 10s I think are about done here on this leg. So we've been talking about this level for the last couple of weeks. We got there. Yeah, could it inch lower? If, Friday, if they want to float the market higher, it sure could. But I don't see a lot of downside here in the short term. I think you get a bid on the yields. There's your case for a pullback there in the spiders, and then the 30-year here could go a little bit lower, but again, that's the level we're watching right there. You see those pivots lining up nicely with that 100 moving average here. So the short end, this is looking a little bit like pattern-wise, this could be a bearish inside bar for a drop. The long end, though, is looking like it's ready to bounce. All right, so I'm going to skip through the housing and fins. Let's just get to commodities here. So crude down 1.12. That does not tell the story. I think there's an OPEC meeting this weekend, is it today? I'm not sure. I want to say I read that they canceled it, but in any case, we were down pretty big this morning. Then we rallied all the way back up. There was news, I'm sure you probably heard by now, but there was like a suspected terrorist attack in Canada at the border. That didn't really seem to be a catalyst for crude. I think that news broke out kind of in the afternoon, and crude was already kind of rallying before then. But in any case, the market wasn't too bothered, so I would suspect that crude really wouldn't be pumping up on that. Just a lot of volatility here. Anyways, big picture, you have a higher low now. You could make a case that's a test candle. So again, if this can consolidate here, it can go higher. I'm still in the camp that needs to go down into this area. But right now, nice bounce here, lots of wild trading here. And again, I'm not going to do anything with it right now until it either gets to that level or, we start to see a bull break of these resistance zones. So anyways, XLE flat as a pancake, although it did gap down and come all the way back to the flat line. So nice price action there for the XLE. Again, not touching this one. It's too volatile right now and does not have a good enough pattern. The OIH making a new low here, but nice level, still holding on to that possible falling wedge on the weekly, and you're holding that 50-week moving average. So we'll give it the benefit of the doubt there. Uranium continuing to hold up via CCJ. I believe spot uranium just hit a new high, going back to 2011, I believe. So uranium still on a tear. URNM flat, nothing terrible going on there. That still can get up into that 5250 area. Nat gas going down into the 100 MA in this trend line, and you're getting a reaction. So chart's telling you that was going to happen, and we got a nice bid there. Dollar index. So the dollar bouncing here. We got to the 103 handle, not quite there, but we said 103, 103.50 would be some type of support. We're getting a bounce. You did reject the 100 MA though, so we bounced, we're back above the 200, but you're ping-pong between the 1 and the 2 right now. Now, if you can work your way back up above these levels, you can push back up to 105, 105.50, and again, this chart looks just like the yield chart, right, to an extent. So again, if these are lining up here for a move up, there's your case for a pullback in the spiders. And again, like I said, just lots of complacency out there right now. Anyways, gold here, down 0.5%, nothing terrible there. That looks fine right now, and that can continue to consolidate. Same thing with silver, nothing wrong with that. Platinum pulling back, I'm interested in platinum on a pullback or a pattern, and then palladium pulling back as well, but I think that may have a macro low in place. Copper pulling in down 1.19. It'll be interesting, right? So look what we did. We hit the high and then we bounced off of that. So I'm not going to be doing a video Friday, but watch that Friday afternoon where we close. If we close back below that red bar, that's a big red flag for copper on a weekly. So nice rally, but it could be a bull trap. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Bitcoin hanging in there okay. I know there was the Binance news going on. I don't think Bitcoin cares. Honestly, I think all it cares about is that ETF news. That's really all that matters right now, and I think it's going to hold up into that. And right now, if you have a bullish inside bar on the daily, that's really ready to go. Maybe they'll pump it overnight so they can get everybody talking about the ETF at the dinner table like they always do every year. There's always something that's got a pump around this time of the year here. But in any case, Bitcoin hanging in there okay. That can still really get to 40,000, maybe even a little bit above that right now. And I think as long as that ETF news is still holding above everyone's head, it's likely not going to go down unless it gets shot down and somebody gets inside info on it, which could happen. Anyways, spiders here hanging in there. So a little bounce off of that low. Wouldn't shock me at all to see a close right around 45.50. So lots of gamma in that area. That's what I think this little dump was. But in any case, market's hanging in there okay. Lots of complacency out there. Just be aware of that. And the spiders basically filled that gap there today. So after that, if we continue higher, it's obviously into that double top. But again, market's holding up here, and we'll just leave it at that for now. There's the Qs. Watch those trend lines too. I think they'll tell us a lot more on the ES and the NQ if and when a correction is getting ready to start. Anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. You guys take care. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Have a good holiday. Come find me at CarnivoreTrades.com. I'll talk to you guys all next week.